Hi, I'm Allison Ellis of Floral Artistry. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am answering some questions that I did not get to answer in my first live Periscope broadcast. So I answered about 20 questions in that live chunk of time, and I have more that I didn't get to. So here's a continuation of some of those questions. So today's question is, where do I find brides? Ah, everyone, the mysteries of life, right? Where do I find brides? That's a super hard question to answer without knowing a little bit more about exactly where you are, exactly what your business looks like. Do you have a blog? But here is my answer, my general answer to this. The best place to meet brides is through vendors that you have a relationship with, through the venue, through the caterer, through the tent company. Depending on your area, who do you work with the most? Or maybe who would you like to work with more? Maybe you work with people right now that you're like, okay, but I could like to kind of bump this up a notch. Well, great to have that in your sights. What's the next level of service I can offer? Who's already on that level? Maybe court some of those people, but go to the venue and have some collateral, right? Your business cards, your collateral. um, we'd love to work more with you. This is what we do, and I'd love to. You got to get in on that front line of when the bride and groom, or the brides and grooms, meet with the venue or the caterer. Who's their first point of contact in your area? Maybe that's photographers. For years and years and years, people had photographers booked long before they would come to me. Now I'm in a position where most of the time they don't have a photographer and they're looking for a recommendation. So, the tides ebb and flow, right? Like sometimes you may be the last vendor they book. So the more vendors you can get that know about you, that's the best way to get brides. And if you don't like that answer, if you're looking for something like, where do I advertise or what do I actually do? It so depends on where you are in your business. So if you're somebody who's on a big national blog and you pay to be listed there, maybe that's a place where you're meeting brides. Maybe you go to local bridal shows. And some people who've been in business for a long time are like, oh, I'm so over bridal shows, I don't even waste my time on them. Whereas other people, newer people, or even experienced people, might know about the best bridal show, the best place to go. So keep an eye for where people who are busy are advertising, right? And kind of follow their lead a little bit. You don't want to follow them like a puppy dog, but keep an eye and see if this kind of marketing might work for you as well. So if there's a bridal show in your area, especially if you're newer, what do you have to lose, right? I mean, especially if it's not super expensive to get in, why not? Why not give it a try and see if you meet some brides? Because I'll look at it this way. Maybe it's $250 to get into a bridal show. Maybe it's $500. How many weddings do you have to book to make it worth it? And for me, it's like, if the answer is one wedding is all it takes for me to make this money back, well, then it's a no-brainer to get in. No-brainer to give it a try, because the chances of you booking one, I mean, come on, there's got to be a chance of booking one, right? So, and then put together your best stuff, put together something really cool to bring to that show. Get some pictures. Maybe you find a photographer who's at that show and say, hey, would you mind getting a picture of this for me? I would really appreciate it, and it would be great for us to connect, right? So you can connect with vendors at a bridal show, you connect with brides at a bridal show, but I'll tell you from personal experience, I connect more with vendors at a bridal show than brides. Because it's, again, it depends on the bridal show. Is the bride there? Some brides walk into a bridal show as if they're expecting, they're like this, with their little purse, right? On the lookout for pariah vendors. And other people are, hot to trot. They are looking for a vendor. They're taking this seriously. And some people are just there for the free glass of champagne. So you have to have your expectations in check when you do something like that. But it's certainly a place where you might meet some brides. And then I will tell you, just out in the world, I was getting my hair cut a couple weeks ago, and my hairdresser came out with this woman, and she said, oh, her daughter's getting married, and it's at a venue where I work a lot. And I don't know if she'll book me or she'll call me or if she'll even be a good fit for me, but there, I met the mother of a bride right there, right? So it just, like brides happen, right? Like it just, they're anywhere and everywhere. And I think the reason why this question is particularly a good question, because it seems simple on the surface, like, where do I meet brides? Well, isn't that an easy question? It's not, because you know why you have this question? Because marketing is about like tapping into where your customer is, right? Like, where does your customer hang out? What does your customer read? What does your customer do for fun? When you're in the wedding industry, your customer is anybody. It's not a type of person. You could easily argue that yes, it is a type of person, and I know what you mean, but the truth is, they're kind of not. They're kind of anybody. And while not anybody and everybody is your customer, the getting married box is anybody. You know, it's like high-end people. It's people who like think that, you know, the mason jar is still the coolest thing going. It's people who have great taste. It's people who have terrible taste. It's people who, you know, like to say like I have champagne taste on a beer budget, and people who like to say, you know, sky's the limit. So it just isn't a type of person that's as easy to tap into as other marketing sort of strategies. So instead, think, where can you meet people who are in contact with your customer? And hopefully that will get you in the right direction. So I hope that that information is truly helpful to you. And if you have more questions, please let me know. I'm having so much fun answering your questions. So, all right, I love you for your questions. Appreciate you so much for watching. Keep doing beautiful work. I'll see you next time.